Hi, we're here.
Yay, there we are. I love that intro. It's so beautiful.
Well, thank you. Um, I was about to say good morning.
Good morning. Good.
It's
Yeah, good.
not morning.
Happy lunchtime.
Yeah. So if anybody is catching us and saying, wait a minute, they're not usually on until Friday mornings. Well, I have to be a grown up and work tomorrow morning. So I'm spending my lunch hour today with Dreama to do our broadcast, and I will restream it, a rerun or replay tomorrow morning at 8. So if you are watching this tomorrow morning on Friday at 8 a.m., we're not live.
No, no BS Friday reprogrammed or
On
replay
Thursday.
on Thursday. Yes, no BS
It's
Thursday.
Thursday. It's
Yes,
a good
yes,
day,
it's
right?
Thursday. Yeah, so it's a beautiful Thursday.
Okay.
Yes, it's all good. Yeah, so here we are.
Yes, here we are.
Here we are.
It's such we're just like out of sorts a little bit. So
Yeah,
our topic today, before we get into that, I do is witchcraft. Is it a practice? We could have put a bunch of different words there. Is
yeah.
practice spiritualism? Is it whatever? Is it a religion?
What is it?
Just kind of talking about that topic versus, and actually it was supposed to also say shamanism. I think that's in the description.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Where are the boundaries? And
Right.
we just might confuse people even more, but that's okay. It's all good.
That's okay. We're all on the journey and the path of expansion. And
That's
so,
right.
I encourage everybody to, dig deep and read, find out for yourself. Don't always just take what people say. Go research it yourself and see how you resonate, you know?
I have to do a little plug for my friend.
Okay.
She I have it sitting in front of me, so I didn't forget how to say it. And I forgot to mention this to you before we went live. She's a consultant or a representative of Labri, Pure and Natural. It's like skincare, makeup. I have it on today.
Nice. Oh, cool.
Yeah. She's a good friend of mine. Her name's Dawn Klein, and it's made with aloe vera and I think aloe, and it's really nice. So it goes on really silky smooth. It's awesome. And of course, she can speak more to it than I can because she's in that business. She's
Right.
in the biz. But
Yeah.
if anybody's interested, please let me know, and I will forward you her information.
Cool. Okay.
Yep. So
Cool.
I do have like little flyers here, but they're for like different things.
Okay.
But
Different
like, yeah,
products. Different
yeah, I
products.
probably should have popped it up on our screen, but we're just winging it.
Hey, we're winging it. We're doing good. Yep.
That's right. The other thing I also want to mention is we are now part of the umbrella group of Soma Fusion Radio. And because we're short on time today, I'll just go ahead and I gotta make a little plug or something so that I don't have to read it every time. But we are going to cut things a little short today so that we can both get back to work because you have a client at 1 and I have to be I have a client too, a little student at 1.
Yeah.
So yeah. Where should we start with this topic, Dreama?
I don't know. Maybe with a definition, or maybe, because there is but then definitions can be a little sketchy, because everybody's perception is different.
Compartmentalizing.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
I think in doing our research, I'm thinking to myself, because, when those things just go unspoken because I don't know, it just doesn't get really discussed. And I know that there's a lot of people out there wondering about it, which is the reason why we're doing this podcast, right?
Exactly.
So I, of course, doing my own, like, okay, how do I put this into words so I can do it on a broadcast? I think the biggest thing that I noticed that there was a specific difference is, and they're not exclusive to each other either, is shamanism is a little bit more focused on healing.
Yes.
And I guess I still fumble on that because I can't say that witchery isn't, but we should also maybe talk about there's lots of crafty things out there and what that really means.
Right. The word. Yeah. I know it came to me when you started too was what drew my interest to this subject for me is that when I started into shamanism, the path a few years ago, people, well, you look up a shaman, and sometimes it would be shaman, medicine man, witch, and they label all of them like together. And I was like,
Hmm.
"What? This is weird. Why are they all connected? Um, and uh, and then as I started doing some more investigating and study, and I realized why they were all connected, and it really made a lot of sense to me because the practice is very all the practices are very connected to the spirit realm,
Hmm.
and that was the draw on it. So if you said I'm a medicine man or I'm a medicine woman, I'm a shaman, well, I guess you're a witch too, because you practice things that are connected to the spirit realm. And um and then I just heard so many different things when I started really reading into different ideals and books too. A woman in total control of herself. That's what I heard. Which
Hmm.
a woman in total control of herself. A woman that's empowered. She stands up
Right.
inside of her own empowerment. She
Hmm.
takes she takes back her power from all things in this world and keeps it for herself. That is a woman in total control of herself.
Well, and
So
she's also like pouring herself into others, not
yeah,
just women, but the younger generation, all those other things. So she's not forfeiting her power, I think is really what you meant to say.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. So that's what led me to
She's,
this
she's not
this
selfish.
yeah. This led,
I'm not
led
a
me to
selfish witch.
this what a selfish witch. That's what, well, yeah. That's what sort of led me to this direction of expansion. And so I thought, well, what a topic to really talk about of getting more understanding of witchcraft because it's one of the hugest growing would term expansive, what'd you call it, a religion or whatever that's out there. It's really drawn a lot of millennials in, and I think it's
Yep.
because it's so what would you I think it's a very earthy thing.
Yeah, I think people are realizing. I mean, there are people that do things of the dark, no matter what
No matter
thing
what it
that
is.
they label themselves as spiritually or in a religious context.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. So all the things that we maybe have been indoctrinated to, I think
Yes.
a lot of people are realizing that those things aren't really very true.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, that's true. And that
Because
there is only thing that, people still fear the unusual and the non-norm.
it's
And
the
so,
word.
yes.
It's the word. If I sat down and like said, okay, let's pray, let's do this. If we did the ritual, even the word ritual that freaks people out. But
Yeah.
it was ritual, it was a ceremony. I guess
Yep.
ritual is something that you do like the same over and over, but whatever.
Over and over, right.
But we do, we light candles for somebody. We light candles for somebody's ascension, for somebody that you're thinking of that's passed on, an ancestor
Yep.
or a family member, which is the same, or her friend, I guess, at church all the time.
Yes.
I mean, it's not, there's not really a difference.
There
The
is.
difference is you're not doing it, you might not doing it quite as collectively with
Mm-hmm.
a assigned definition or an assigned doctrine.
Yeah, I think that too. A lot of times we name something to form a group. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So now we're part of a group, or we're part of an entity, over here, and so we can separate ourselves into that entity or that group of people that are like-minded. Where your vibe is, where's your tribe, type of thing.
Right.
And so I think that's why we sort of define ourselves by our groups and troops that we hang with.
Our groups and troops.
Yeah. And so that's why, so we might define ourselves into shamanism or whatever, witchcraft, whatever you're defining yourself is going to be the group of troop that that people that you hang with, that people that are magical or that you want to pull
Mhm.
into your life. And if you define yourself, say, as a
Why
very
would you wanna live any other way?
grounded Catholic, whatever, you're going to pull those people that are very connected to that those rituals and those ceremonies to you, you know. So I think that, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking?
You're right.
I think we're all right. We're right. But you should let us tell you because we're right.
Well, maybe not.
Okay.
But another thing that I read too was there was somebody. There's a lot of people that have attempted their own. There's just a lot of articles out there. There's a lot of
Yeah,
articles where, and they all say something a little different.
they all say something different. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was did see one that resonated with me was somebody said, and I don't know if that's even anyway. When I say I don't even know if this is so true.
Okay.
But this person said in their article that shamans tend to cross the veil
Mm-hmm.
and walk in those realms, whereas witches or somebody is practicing some form of what we, again, it's a label and it's a box because I know lots of people that don't even know that they're doing those things, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm not going to tell them.
Exactly. I got
That they call uh, those souls or those spirits, whatever, more
it.
to them, but to them in this realm. Um, so that was their take on things. That I don't think that that's all that true either. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
either. I don't either. I mean,
I think shamanism being a little bit more on the healing aspect,
mhm.
perhaps,
Yeah,
but they're so fluid that. But so
they
do
sort of, yeah, move within each other. I mean, I've met many people as moving into shamanism and being it, you know, called in to do shamanic work. You don't know how many people I've met that's how they identify themselves. They're like, well, I'm a pagan. I would call myself a witch, and I'm like, oh, okay. I've met a lot of them, and that led me to a lot of interest for expansion too. And thinking, okay, so, and usually when I, ask them, it's they are very connected to the earth and their pagan beliefs, and they like, you know what, this is how I believe that everything flows, and my altar and my sanctuary is the woods, and this is where I find my sacred space, and and I just want to bless Mother Earth, and they're very earth conscious,
Mhm.
and so that was a great way for me to be exposed to that. And then um they even, those that I've met were very much um like you just said, practicing. They're like, so everybody practices this really, but they just
They
don't
do.
acknowledge it. They do you carry a lucky rabbit's foot? Have you ever done that? Do
Have you
you
ever blown out candles on your birthday?
cake and
You
made a
made a wish?
wish? Yeah. Do you wish on a star in the sky, a falling star? I
Do
mean,
you celebrate Christmas
yeah.
or
Yeah.
Easter?
Right. Yeah. So those are connected with a lot of pagan celebrations, and so that led me to some interest too on of learning some more and being more understanding of what people are celebrating and what they feel, and why they would.
Oh,
That was just my phone going off. Probably should mute it, huh?
that's okay.
There we go.
The other thing too
Now
is
it's muted.
people are like, well, I do it in the confines of this, so it must be that. Okay, well, if that if that helps you, fine,
Right.
whatever. But we've also partoken. Well, anyway, we've also dabbled on the dark side too, every single one of us. Anytime we've ever said, I hope you blankety blank blank blank,
Right.
you are casting a spell. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't go through elementary school without taking spelling. That's what it is. So
Belly. Yeah.
I mean, when you put those words out into the ether or you set your intention and put those out there, you've
Yes.
casted a spell. That's all it is. So all these ridiculous things that people have, well, I'm this and you're that. Well, guess
Yeah.
what? We're human. Either you're doing things with good intention or not so good. I mean, and that could change by the moment. So
Exactly. And that's why we set, I remember many years ago, um, before even moving into more shamanistic practices, of setting up a hedge of protection. I
mhm,
would pray and say, okay, I put this, and I would envision this hedge of protection around
mhm,
me, so that people that were sending what I termed then as word curses, you know. I mean, come on, that was 30 years ago,
Uh-huh.
don't date myself, good Lord. But anyway, I was young.
But if you're calling angels or
Yeah,
God or Jesus or
right.
if you're Catholic and you're saying prayers to whatever
Yeah,
I mean, you are the creator being. You are that source.
yep.
So again, if you're either doing it for good reasons or not
Or
so good
yeah,
reasons,
but
or
we
through
can.
your ego, that can backfire too, which we all have experienced that. Well,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to do this and I meant well, but it went bad.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah. That's why, but it's because we have been so conditioned by media to believe a certain way about everything, honestly.
Oh, I don't think it started with media. I think it was prior to
Oh,
that.
well, yeah, and
There's a lot
being
of
programmed from the
hidden
beginning.
mystery. Yeah, there's a lot of hidden mystery out there. Or history, not mystery.
Yeah, hidden history. Yeah.
Well, where the sacred teachings of these mysteries were
Hmm.
taken out of the hands of um, you and I, just regular people, and isolated to a select group. So I think it was before media even, but it just follows suit. We've just gotten dumber and dumber.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I started watching a show a few weeks ago. It's been very interesting to talk about media and programming, but certain things interest me when I watched that the what would you call it, with entertainment industry comes up with, and it's called the Nevers.
Hmm.
And it is about um, how these, it's mostly women, but there are some men too, that they had a connection with an energy, which at the beginning, it's like one of those shows. It starts by running backwards. You see the beginning
Oh
at the,
yeah.
and that's how it starts. It's only got a couple episodes left, but it's been really interesting. I'm not really into, I mean, I have to go like, if they go into any of the
Right.
things that I don't like to see. But the principle of it is that this energy came in, and these women, some men were touched, and the touched, the government, those people that are in authority, want to get rid of all the touched, and they want rid of them. So this woman steps up and she starts taking all of them in to like a boarding house, to like a orphanage, and she collects all the touched, and the each of them have different gifts. Some of them they have psychic gifts. Some of them have physical gifts that they can change matter. So it's a really interesting principle of how they want to. And I thought, isn't this just like sort of a like parallel to how we live in a society that wants to move everything that's weird and different and pack it away in a place and say, I don't want to see you because you reflect something that I don't want to accept, or
Understand.
you don't fit my paradigm. So put you away and hide you away.
Yeah, but
Uh,
your parent, yes, but I think people get fearful of the paradigm that was originally created for them, and so that's those are like epigenetic things, like the family that does certain traditions or abuse is normal. It's the same
yeah,
thing. Like
yeah,
it just kind of patterns after another because that's what you determine or have been. You've been indoctrinated to that normalcy. Like that's normal for you. So and then the other side of that is what then being fearful of the unknown. So
yeah,
that's kind of an innate human quality, unfortunately. But in truth, there's really not anything to fear. I mean, well, there are some things to fear, but I mean, this as a topic is not to fear.
right,
So,
right.
well,
That's
or
sort of
just to avoid.
Right. That's sort of like when we did the live cord cutting, type
Yeah.
of thing. Just to show, and I did live Reiki, and just doing things live so that people can see there is nothing to fear. We
Yeah.
are supernatural beings, and we live in the supernatural realm, but we put on this sack of flesh to carry it around, and we are moving through this time and space. And we have to be very conscious as we do it. That's been the word for me lately that spirit has given me. Be very conscious how you move through your space.
Mhm.
Because and make conscious decisions. Don't just live out of the unconscious mind. And this is what we do, and this is how we do it. You become like a robot, you know, and you have to make yourself come into the conscious mind and say, okay, I'm going to be very deliberate with my decisions. I'm going to be deliberate with what I eat, what I do, how I feel, you
Mhm.
know, as much as I possibly can. I don't know. Anyway, that's just a thought. It came to me to share. So it must be somebody that needed it.
Yeah.
Ding, that's throw that out there for it. Anyway,
Well, and if anybody goes back and to our channel and watches the cord cutting that we did, I mean, if you weren't listening to what we were saying, or well, there, I mean, I guess we had some unique things, like we had the cord, and we did the cord cutting, and if you've ever gone to therapy, and I think we brought this up too, therapy with a psychologist, you do a lot of those same things, but except you're doing it for yourself and how you determine it.
mhm,
So, but otherwise, you would just see four women basically praying, and setting some intentions of love and all these things for healing. And I mean, that's
yeah,
all you would see. So if that's witchcraft, I think it's more of the word. The
it's
word
the
has
word. Yeah,
ignited something in our culture
it
that
does.
is not accurate.
That's not accurate. Exactly. And that's I guess the premise. And there's many words out there. There's channeling. That's another word that scares people. They're like, "What?"
And people channel all the time, they don't
And
even know it. It's
yeah, I
ridiculous.
know.
Or
It's
scrying. They
yeah.
scry all the time.
It's like the word, is, and you're like, well, that just, have you ever you ever tuned your TV in? You're tuning in. You're tuning in, you know?
Or taking the leap of, like, something that's, like, kind of more physics related, like, okay, everything is energy and it's neither created nor destroyed. That's science, right?
Yes.
Well, it does, but does it stay in the book, or is it actually put into practice without you actually realizing it? Because
Yes.
it does.
Yes. And that's it right there. Yeah. Um, we have to, and I think that's why there's such a draw for people to, um, that people are coming out of old tradition and coming into something different and craving or moving into something different. There's like a draw because they're wanting to manifest something. How do I manifest something in my life that's tangible? I need change. I need something to shift for me in a major way. I
Mhm.
feel stuck. Not saying that this is the path that for you or anybody. I'm just making an example of why people would move into a different path or different. People that I know that have gone into becoming more pagan and they came out of Christianity. They felt Christianity was very, our traditional Christianity, should I say, was very
Mhm.
confining, and it had a lot of structure that was inaccurate.
Right.
And so they were like, I'm done with that. I'm not moving out of structure, and I want to move into more freedom and manifest some things for myself, and know that I am the, like you always say, I am the, what do you call it, creator,
Creator being.
the creator being. I love that. Yeah, I'm
You're
the creator
I
being.
mean, you're made in the image of our creator,
A divine
whatever that
creator.
means, whatever
Yes.
that means to you.
Yeah. So you're made in the image of the divine creator. You are a creator being and you create. And we live the life that we create. We're just like a, you
And
know,
speaking of spells, this just came to me. I must have channeled it.
okay, cool. Bring
um,
go for it.
the things that we say in our vernacular, in our language, like
Yes.
like you made your bed, and now you gotta lay in it.
Oh
That's
yeah.
manifesting something that you
Yeah.
thought to pursue or whatever. And I can't think of any others right now, but there's a ton.
Oh yeah. It goes on and on and on. I mean, I
Yeah.
see you say that to somebody, you're putting that energy on them. If
You
you
lay
say,
with dogs, you get up with fleas.
mm-hmm,
My
you know,
mom always used to say that one.
oh,
I'm like, "What?"
there's, like you said, there's tons of them,
Oh, yeah.
that you create with your words, and that's a very powerful thing because we do whatever we say, we become, and we have to watch what we speak over ourselves, honestly, and speak to your
Or
body.
sorry, I interrupted you, but
Oh, that's okay.
one of the things that my late husband Steve always used to say, "It's hard to fly like an eagle when you're surrounded by turkeys." You're
Hmm.
doggone right it is.
It is,
So
yeah.
if you wanna fly like an eagle, you better find some eagles.
Yes, that's right.
Surround yourself with that energy,
I
you
heard that,
know?
but chickens was the thing.
Oh,
It was the opposite. You can't fly like eagles if you're surrounded by a bunch of chickens and you're down there
well,
chipping,
that's true too.
walking away, rackety
Right.
rack, rack. Yeah. So that's the truth.
But
That's
if
exactly
you
it.
have Well, the other, I think, God, every time I say, well, okay, this would be a difference. I'm like, no, that's not really true. That's not really a difference either. Like I was going to say, if you have a spirit animal shows up for you, and it can be in the third dimension. Like it
Yes.
wasn't very, I talked about seeing the black, well, I guess that wouldn't be a blackbird. They would be like a raven or a crow. I don't know really the difference. A
Okay.
big blackbird. And I'm like, there's always three. There's always three, with
Yeah.
Rhiannon or Odin, they always have three, right? And I'm
Yes.
like, what is this message? And this is a while ago. I can't remember. And then it happened again not long after that. And I was looking for the third, and boom, there it was. But if those spirit animals show up and one happens to be a chicken, that's actually not a bad thing. There,
No.
there's there is also, I think, more in shamanism. This would be a difference. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
maybe we got one.
Okay.
That there's less polarity and duality. Everything comes for a purpose of healing. Whereas I think maybe in witchcraft, it might be more that you stay in the light and you don't do the dark stuff.
Right.
Did I
Right.
get one?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
That's good. I like that.
All
It's really
right.
good. And there, yeah. I don't think,
It's
I
more
think
centered around healing, I think.
yes. Yeah, it is.
Maybe.
Shamanism definitely is. The identity of the witch and then the craft is, I think there's just two separate things there, honestly. Um,
Well, and like yes. And I think because you can do any of the things that is described in all kinds of books, you can either do it positively or negatively,
or negatively, right.
Mhm.
And you can do that the same way. It's like with anything. That's the I guess the main ideal of our little chat today is what's your intention? Check your own heart. If you're speaking, what you're speaking to over yourself, what you're saying, what spell are you putting on yourself,
Mhm.
and there's a reason why we said for years you're under a spell,
Mhm.
because you're that was like a little thing you'd say to people. Oh, well, you're under my spell. It was even a song, wasn't it? I've got
No,
you
I think
under
so.
my spell. Yeah. like a long time ago. Um, so because we are like spiders, we weave those webs around ourselves and around other people, and we create with our words and our and what we affirm and the intentions we set. And so, like you said, if you want to have a negative intention and create a negative intention, a negative energy, you know, that's where the old saying, that's why I love the Wizard of Oz. Of course, I
Would
love it.
that would that be the
It's the good
threefold
witch and the bad witch.
would that be the threefold path?
Hmm.
Because
And
you brought up like the spider web, weaving the weird, as we say, and the old ways, the old Norse ways, weaving weaving the weird, because the weird is the third dimension, Midgard.
oh,
Um, and
yeah,
so the
that's interesting.
spirits, I guess,
Yeah.
that live at the base of the Ingersoll tree are the Norns, and I was about to say, oh, well, the witchcraft kind of talks more about the triple goddess, the maiden, the mother, and the
Maiden, mother,
crone.
clone. Yeah.
Yeah, but so are the Norns. The Norns represent that too because there's three of them.
Oh,
So and they help us weave the weird,
that's really cool. I like that.
and
That's
that's where
really
that word comes from too. By the way,
really. That's
yeah,
really interesting. I like that.
I'm
See that
just a
all of it
spider.
fits
I'm
together.
just a mother spider weaving the weird
Weaving the weird.
with my
That's good.
Norns
With your Norns. Yeah, they go got you got the
and
triple, the
and my
triple.
DCR.
Yep, in the DCR. They
The
got the
DCR
triple, but
are that's
that's pretty
plural.
cool.
That's plural for like your female ancestors.
The female
They're
ancestors.
kind of um, they're protectors. I don't think they generally get in your. They're kind of they will be the they're going to let you follow all of these things depending on how you think of it. Um,
Mhm.
Even in modern spirituality, they don't get in your way of free will. So they can guide, but and bring message, or if you're asking them to, but they also don't do anything without your intention. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wow, it's interesting. Hmm. Very good. Very good. I like
very
this.
good.
A good
Yeah.
conversation. I just I think we were looking to sort of demystify the whole thing, sort of break
Yes.
it down a little bit, make it not more approachable, where even if you have questions, you feel approachable about it. Um,
Yeah,
I
even some I just I just thought of the broom and
yes,
the symbolism of that.
yeah,
And there is some history that is I don't know if it's still really alive today, but the tradition was in like because they talk about their Germanic tribes and that was kind of those groups and Scandinavians were like almost one and the same. But
yeah,
they're particularly in like Germany, Poland, one of the things that so everybody would grab a broom after somebody left their house, like visiting, and they would sweep out that energy for the
yeah.
house. So that was kind of part of that's why you see them over thresholds, over doors, because you just grabbed your broom. And it was whether they actually swept the floor, it was just more of like an energetic
Hmm.
intention thing. So when we put ourselves into motion and they're all focusing on that intention, it becomes much more powerful, right? So um, just like, putting your hands over your heart chakra directs the energy up to the divine. That's why we have
We
this
do
hand
it,
mudra. And that's
right?
why it's common no matter what belief system you decide to employ. So
Yes, yes.
this is a
That's
mudra.
yeah, that's right. I like this one. It's like, what is it? It's like this. It's
Yeah.
like that. I like that
I
one.
don't know.
That's
Do
like
you
pulling
hold
energy.
it there or do you hold it down? Because
I
I
heard
think
it
when
hold it down. Yeah, but it goes down farther, really. But it's sort of like this.
I don't
Something
know,
like
maybe trying to widen your bandwidth or something. Maybe it's dream.
widen your bandwidth.
I don't know.
That's I'm a receiver.
Dreamless mudra. Oh, that is something when you put the finger. I'd
Yeah,
have
the
to
two
look it up.
fingers together. Yeah, yeah. You taught me that.
I did. I don't remember what it was
Yeah.
though. You naturally do the
Yeah, this.
sacral one. Like when we're sitting, if
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
doing like some kind of like breathing exercise, you'll naturally do that one. I think that's funny. That one's
It just
yeah.
comes natural. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Um,
The
yeah,
divine feminine.
that I think that would be like breaking it down. Why we have adapted these thoughts and um, yeah, what would you call it? Programmed to believe this, the black dress, the pointy hat, the broom, everything that goes with the identity of that is sort of like why we identify the same way we identify like all things like Santa, his red suit, the big black belt. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's
We
a
just
whole nother story.
that's a
The
whole nother one.
Santa
Yeah.
that has to do with the reindeer herders
Yes,
getting
exactly.
stoned off of psilocybin mushrooms. I'm not kidding.
Oh my gosh, I got to hear that one. Ah, ah,
Really? You haven't heard that before?
never heard that one. No,
Yeah.
I don't know about that one. That's crazy. But I think the same thing. Yeah,
Well, it
same
makes
thing
sense
with
once you hear it. You'll be like, "Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of it makes sense. This is why we adapt these ideals and thoughts of because they're just, it's like the old, somebody tells a story and it goes down the line and then the story keeps going and then the story, is what it is when it
yeah,
gets to you, it's this is how we tell it. And so we've been telling the same story for a long time.
yes."
So
I don't know the history of the hat, like that, the symbolic hat. I don't know that
you
history,
don't know who to believe. That's the thing. I've read bunch of different ones. Who do you believe?
but black. I would like to talk about black.
Yes,
Um,
black. That's a good subject.
mhm.
Yeah, go ahead and talk
Um,
about that a minute. I'm gonna look up.
well, I mean, I think that's because people are afraid of the dark. So, black is protection. I mean, you're not gonna unveil something. A good way to hide is in black. So it's just protection. That's all it means.
Mm,
As a color, as like a symbolic color. So
yeah,
that's why often they wear
yeah.
black.
I
Or
heard that
it's
too. It's very
protected.
much protection. And then the other day, I was listening to I really I think I was listening to Sadhguru, and he was talking about wearing black, and he
You
says,
crack me up. It's sad.
"Oh, sad, sod, whatever."
I don't want to go to no sad guru. I want to be happy.
Happy Guru. Anyway, I was listening to Sadhguru.
Sad
Anyway,
guru?
and um, he says, yes, you do not want to wear black because
I saw that.
because you absorb everything. You just become like a big. You just absorb. Black absorbs. What's wrong with you? It doesn't make you skinny. It makes you absorb. You know. because everybody believes wearing black makes you thinner.
It doesn't, yeah, and it or look thinner or whatever.
Or look
But
thinner.
we're the creator being, so you can transmute it to be whatever you want. Just like when you're like, hey, I need to grab a candle. I think I want this color, and you couldn't find one. You're like, well, this yellow one's going to be purple. You transmute anything that you want.
Yes. Okay. Oh, there
But
you
do
go.
you want me? I can. We've got a few minutes. Yeah, after you're done, I'll quick tell
Oh,
the
wait, go ahead.
reindeer
I'll read
story.
this about the hat. It's pretty
Oh,
interesting.
go ahead.
Um, Anyway, it talks about thanks to the Wizard of Oz, the witch's hat has become a code for a certain
Oh,
dress, black boots as you wish, and a broom or grassy complexion. But on the pain of expulsion, we do not forget the wide-brimmed hat. The hat makes the witch, to paraphrase Mark Twain, and yet the story of this hat, it originated and how it looks on the residents is a murky one. Um,
mhm.
Let me see. Hold on. They had three female mummies uncovered in the China, known as the witches of Subushi,
Sure.
known as the witches of Subushi. They are famous for their covering their hair with large funnel-shaped contraptions of black felt. They look like ants in a fourth century of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Well,
That's
and then
interesting.
the green, or being negative, there's, wait, people can pick different pantheons or whatever it's called. There's one, I think I want to say it was like in the Slavic region, like Slavia or Yugoslavia or something. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. That was, basically a deity that um, children that weren't going to survive. So that's where some of all these stories and fairy tales, mythology stuff that's in our current culture is that it's bad because, well, of course, the mother who lost the child and says like this particular depiction of a witch who was
Okay.
usually depicted green, um,
Hmm.
the dingo stole my baby,
Right.
so
Yeah.
depicted poorly, and so some of that is intertwined in that.
Wow. I
Um,
didn't know Mother Goose wore a witchy hat.
oh yeah, she did.
It says here, yeah. It says the portrait of
So did
witches
Gandalf.
peaked when Mother Goose and all that came out, and Mother Goose had a witch's hat. Um,
It's
Very
Baba Yaga. Baba, I think it was Baba. Baba, I think that was the name of that witch. Anyway, sorry.
okay. No, that's okay.
I
Wow.
think I'd have to
Uh,
look.
then it says here they witches in England were forced to don the crown-shaped steeple hats. These caps were meant to draw down God's grace
Oh,
uh, to redeem them. If they felt they were like evil, you had to wear one of those to
or
draw in.
came in contact with something that was evil.
Yep.
Oh, it's just like monks shaving their head, right in
Hmm.
that hole.
Yeah.
Right?
By wearing the hat, let's see. Oh, I mean, it goes into quite a bit. This is a pretty good article, but I know
Cool.
we're running out of time. But it's pretty interesting how
But
that
that's
it's
why
sort of
monks
followed us down all the way to now.
but that's why monks shaved their heads too, right? So that they would have closer contact. I mean, it's symbolic, just like the
Yes.
witch's hat.
Yeah, it
Well, there
is.
you go.
Very
Good
interesting.
lord.
Yeah. Well, this is a subject we just, I mean, we could
We
go
could still
on
have
and
it.
on and on. It's so deep. I mean, going really deep into it, but I just wanted to sort of just, well, I'm not opposed. Just graze it a little bit, sort
Mhm.
of get the lawnmower out and mow a few patches, clear some space, and just let you think about some things.
Yeah.
And we are open for any I mean of things that
Like,
people are interested.
anything that's not done in love is suspect, and I don't think that,
Yes.
unfortunately, the people that have made these words, or it wasn't just one person, but that I don't know, it doesn't make sense. I mean, we should probably be questioning those that did that. Am I making sense right now, that made these things seem scary and
Seems scary and
taboo?
unapproachable. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you know what? I believe the reason they would do that is because of control, because that's why everybody does things. They want to control
Mhm.
people, they want to control, they just want control over everything. So they're going to make things look a different way so it will sway you. If you approach it, you'll
Right.
be like, oh, I'm not going there because what this, because they're, and that's very powerful when we create a diversion for people so that they don't really aren't able to see truth. And
Mhm.
that's what we're here for, to help expose truth,
Mhm.
and no fear,
Yep.
just truth and love, like you said.
Well, there's good and well, hopefully we're moving out of that dimensional space that there of that polarity, but there's good and bad and everything, and there's bad priests, there's bad monks, there's bad whatever's,
Hmm.
you know,
Right,
out there.
right.
So you got to use your own discernment, your own smarts. Nobody's gonna, bail
Yes,
you out.
follow your own guidance. Yeah, and move
Yeah.
into it. Move into it. Yeah, read, study, follow your own guidance. And
Hmm.
I'm going to be on location this next Friday. I'll be at my daughter's, and we'll do this,
Yep.
and we'll talk about some fun stuff. It'll be fun.
So the reindeer
Yes, tell me the
thing.
story of that before we go.
Okay, I'm probably gonna slaughter it, but that's okay.
Okay.
The story, not the reindeer or the Santa. So people can just look it up. But so actually, my dad does a better job telling the story. But the reindeer herders, which now are really, from what I understand, the Sami of the so like the it's past the meridian of those countries, Norway, Sweden, and Finland, and there's kind of like I want to say it's informal. Anyway, it because their territory has shrunk, but
Okay.
that's another story. Anyway,
Okay.
so and they were the indigenous shamanic culture. There's lots of different views on those things too. So whatever. So anyway, when it snows, so psilocybin mushrooms are like co they like to be with each other, and pine
Okay.
trees. They grow underneath pine trees. And so there we've got the pine cone that represents, just like the lotus flower, enlightenment, which
Yes.
is outside the Vatican too, by the way, a big giant pine
Pine
cone.
cone. Yep, I know.
And
Yeah.
then pine cone is, where we get the word pineal, your
Yes.
pineal gland, pine cone. So,
Exactly.
or the thousand petal lotus flower.
Yeah.
It's all the same. So you can see the symbology there, that these mushrooms grew underneath the trees. Well, the reindeer really like them, and so I imagine they probably get more potent when the snow covers them, but the
Yeah.
reindeer would
Eat them.
dig them up and eat them. Yeah, they liked them.
Oh, so
They got
that's what they got the reindeer flying.
well, not yet because people aren't. Well, yeah, but so um, I think they had obviously it probably took some time to figure out, oh, our reindeer are getting lit. I'll give that a try. So there is a process in which I think they're dried and boiled down, which I think
Hmm.
happens to this day. Um,
Okay.
and but they did figure out, because they were nomadic, they followed the herd. And I am totally slaughtering the story. But what they would do so that it was safe and they wouldn't die, because Olaf took some and he had a great time for about 10 minutes and then he, keeled over dead. They realized that's probably not what you should do.
Right. Okay.
So um, they would drink the reindeer pee.
Ah, no.
That's
Oh,
one of the
oh,
anthropological stories or whatever.
oh.
So,
And they got
well,
crashed
I
on
mean,
Rainbow Peak. Rainbow.
well, yeah, I'm sure they were
Reindeer.
seeing rainbows. I mean, think about all the
Oh,
aurora borealis up there. I'm
oh
sure it was just
yeah, for sure.
twinkling like those lights on your Christmas tree.
Oh man, that's crazy.
So, what
I got
kind
to
of
look it
tree
up.
do we decorate?
A Christmas tree. Yeah.
A pine tree.
A pine tree. Mm-hmm.
A pine tree. We have presents that exist underneath the tree,
Yeah,
right?
there's the gift. Yeah.
There's your gift. And then as well, like whatever homes that they did, obviously were nomadic, but they probably stayed a little bit more put when, it was in the depths of winter in December or whatever.
Yeah.
So the snow would get so large, they would make their chimneys very, very large so that things could be delivered to them down the chimney.
Ah.
So basically, we're, trimming the tree. It's just kind of like this old cultural version of getting stoned and watching Pink Floyd The Wall. I mean, it's like the
Yeah.
same thing,
But
except we're doing it with grandma and her
yeah. Wow.
eggnog and
Crazy.
ginger cookies.
Oh man, that would be a great whole special we should do on Christmas. That would be great.
I'd have to brush up on the story, I
That
think.
would be good. That would be awesome. Well, this has been great.
Yeah.
It's been good.
I did want to go back and talk about Soma Fusion Media because we do need to do that. So Soma Fusion Media, which we are now a part of, um, is a media production and book publishing company that explores the biggest names in the industry, the frontiers of consciousness, spirituality, personal growth, the emerging paradigms in psychology, health, various sciences, and innovative philosophies that reflect commitment to the advancement of the individual, social, and global awareness. People will discover that there are no rules to follow or methods to learn. Being in the moment can transform even the most ordinary circumstance into a profoundly moving catalyst whilst living in the moment. We are an all-female team run, owned radio network. We air live radio shows on our exclusive platform for the collective of strong, fearless female radio hosts in a male-dominated industry to raise their voices freely in the area of expertise and causes, introducing listeners to an array of guests, men and women from all walks of life. We are a firm believer of unity and equality of all. Whew. I think I do that every time.
Very good. Very good.
Yes. So, yeah, I think we kind of wrapped it up. If anybody would like
yeah,
I'm sorry.
it was good. No, I said that was good. Sort of just like you said, wrapped it up. Put a bow on it.
Yes. So, if anybody has any suggestions for a topic at a later date, please let us know. I mean, we probably won't run out of them. We don't seem to do that.
We've got plenty to chat about. Yeah.
But it would be nice what people want to hear about.
Yeah, exactly. Because we could expand on anything, honestly. Talk about, there's so much. There's just so much out there. But anyway, well, I'll let you go back to work. I'm going to get ready for
you need to do that too.
Yes. Namaste and blessings, everybody. Love you. See you next Friday on location.
We're
going to be in Indiana.
Oh, that's right.
Almost to Kentucky, actually.
Oh my gosh.
Close to Kentucky. So yeah. So we'll be bringing in that Kentucky chilling energy.
You know what? My grandfather is from Tulsa, not Tulsa, Tell City, Indiana.
Oh, really?
Right there. Yeah.
Oh,
and near Jasper, Kentucky.
Yeah,
like just right over the.
Yeah. Cool. Yep. That's where I'm going to be next week. I don't know what we're talking about, but Shannon and I will be talking, and any input you guys want to throw in there, we'll just be rolling with it.
Get some sauerbraten and Pfeffernuss.
Okay. Okay.
There's good German restaurants there.
Oh, I bet so. Yeah, for sure. Sounds awesome. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Love
you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great day.